Sorry, I miscounted the thing. If we're live now.
Oh, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Comedy Cellar Playoff Show. My name is Dave Juska. I'm here with Michael V. Suarez as we bring you every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. from the Comedy Cellar and the Contender app, the Contender with a K. Download it today for 24/7 commercial-free sports talk. The Contender's planning a plan when you download the app and you take a picture of it and you send it to us, you get a free keychain. And that keychain comes with a bottle opener. And let me tell you something that comes in way handy during tailgating season, which of course we're not in anymore. But when we get back to it, it's going to be unbelievable. The Contender app. So that's good stuff. And of course, the Comedy Cellar in the West Village on McDougal Street, always open for business, ready for action, always a good time. And our pal whose birthday it just was, and I'd forgotten to send birthday wishes, damn it, Mark Coco Cohen, the house MC at the Las Vegas version of the Comedy Cellar, where Nick Griffin, our guest, well, kind of guest last week, just played. And that's a great place, too. The Comedy Cellar, your one stop for stand-up comedy. And the Contender, your one stop for all sports talk. Well, I hope everybody's having a great week. Last week in the NFL was unbelievable. I lost a lot of money the first on Saturday games, which was awful. And then Sunday I just got depressed. And my favorite bet was Tampa Bay. So everything was a disaster. But the worst part is I missed the best game of, I don't know, 10 years. I mean, besides the Super Bowl where Tom Brady came back, which, of course, we thought about when that was happening on Sunday when he came back from 20 to, well, I think it was 27-3. He came back. What was it in the Super Bowl? 28-3? I don't know when he came back. So there was visions of that again, and I missed that and then I missed the best game of the season, the Chiefs and the Bills, which was sick. And everybody's, calling it like one of the greatest games of all time, which it was because it was insane. But of course, I missed it because comedian Dave Attell wanted to have his birthday dinner on football Sunday at 6:00. All this guy ever wants to do is have birthday dinners at 9:00 at night, but he chose this one day. The best game almost ever. You could say one of the best divisional games ever. And I missed it because we were at the Chinese restaurant with Dave. I mean, listen, I had a good time. We had a good time. It was me, Ian Fidance, Nick Griffin, our good friend, Louis Katz, and me and Dave. And we went to this place called Peking Duck, where it was my choice. I said we should go to this place, Peking Duck, because what they do is they cook. Yes, the food was excellent, Catalina. They cook. It's a Chinese place, but they bring out the duck in front of you, and they kind of cut it up or tear it up table side. Yeah. So at this place in Chinatown, it wasn't exactly table side. It was a little further down. And if you join me on Patreon, if you are the Maggie level subscriber, I usually show pictures as a bonus content. Maybe I'll share it next week anyway. But this time they just showed us the duck and then they brought it over to cut it. But at the 53rd Street location, closer to my house, they do it usually table side. However, we've been there since COVID, and then they don't do it by table side anymore. So I don't know whether that's just what they decided not to do or whether it's a COVID thing. But they usually cut it up. They show you the whole duck. It's beautiful, as long as you don't have a problem with that. And because those are the most delicious things in Chinatown when they're held upside down. I know it looks awful, but to me, it looks delicious all the time. And as we all know, a lot of people were talking about the death of Sidney Poitier, but the greatest black actor of our time, I think everybody knows, was Daffy Duck. Folks, I'm here all week, and anyway, thank you. I think it's an old Mike Rowe joke, but an instant classic. So anyway, thank you. I'm so glad you laughed at that because I thought it was the funniest thing I'd ever heard. Anyway, they cut it and then they put it into sandwiches, like on a flat like a tortilla, and then with some hoisin sauce and some cucumber, and they roll it up and they put it in buns, and then you just take that, so you don't have to do any work. We had to put it together ourselves, which I was pretty upset about because I just like to eat it, but it was still pretty delicious. So, but I'm still mad at David Tell because we were missing the thing. I mean, I kept checking the scores, and I was just, oh, thank you, Colleen. Colleen is joining. I haven't. Thank you. That's very kind of you because I feel like I have. Well, certainly not my personality, but perhaps my luck. But Colleen just got over COVID for her second time. I don't know these people that are catching it twice. Where are you going? What are you doing? Who's coming over your house? My cleaning lady has caught it 3 times now, but she lives in the Bronx in a very questionable area where I think, I don't know, a lot of questionable stuff goes on. You know how I
In
feel
the
about
coughing
the Bronx?
district.
Exactly, the coughing district. Wait, what's that? Oh, I think of the Simpsons episode. Like, well, where can I get a hammock? Well, there's Hammocks R Us. That's on 3rd, and then there's We Sell Hammocks. There's also on 3rd, and then there's Hammock Town, which I believe is also on 3rd. He goes, "Oh, you mean the Hammock District?" It's a classic Simpsons episode with Albert Brooks as kind of a James Bond villain. It's a really good one. Anyway. So Dave drove us home, me and Nick, we live up in the same neighborhood, and I made it home within the last 2 minutes, which was really all you needed to see. And when Patrick Mahomes, when there's 13 seconds left, I'm glad I'm not a Buffalo Bills fan because I might have killed myself. If there's 13 seconds left and you're up, you have to figure, unless you're playing Tom Brady, it's over. But even Tom Brady, 13 seconds. But that Patrick Mahomes is pretty goddamn good. I'm not betting against it. Let's take a look, Mike. Show up the what happened last week. Yeah. So I stink. Mike stinks too. But Mike's still doing better overall in the playoffs. Nick wasn't that great. And you guys were, well, you're 10 times better than me. I mean, I stink. I won the season, but I stink in the playoffs. I know nothing. I got the Bengals right, which I had a feeling they might keep it close. And at game time, I still felt that way. Now, I picked the Packers, and at game time, yes, I still felt that way. I can't believe they lost that game. I thought at the worst I wouldn't cover the spread. I can't believe they lost that game. And you guys knew it. You guys saw it happening. You got it all right. It's amazing. I can't believe. How do you lose? How are you, How are you an unvaccinated Aaron Rodgers trying to be like, I have to win, otherwise people will hate me? Right. The chat was 2 times better than me. Exactly. But that's still better. I'm the host. I should win every week. It's embarrassing to have a show and then not be the best. But how are
Every
you?
time I bet against San Francisco, they won. So I got to learn my lesson.
Is that true? Is that the way it's been going?
For me, yeah.
Well, the question is, how do you're in Lambeau Field. That's your home advantage, which of course hasn't been a hometown advantage for him at all, for Aaron Rodgers. And how do you lose to a guy that's got a sore thumb, a shoulder injury, and he's never played in weather below 40 degrees? How do you lose that game? You stink. And I don't know what that means for this week. We'll talk about that later. Meanwhile, Tampa Bay, I thought the Rams just suck. They had trouble with the 49ers. They had trouble. Well, they didn't have any trouble with the Cardinals, but the Cardinals stink. So I'm like, they stink with everybody. And then they just blew away Tampa Bay, even though Tampa Bay's defense was questionable. But I don't know what the hell happened. And then Tom Brady came back, and you thought he was going to work it out. And you thought we'd at least get a push. And somehow the Rams worked it out because clearly the Tampa Bay defense was going nowhere. I don't think that'll be the same with San Francisco this week, but who knows? Meanwhile,
I think Antonio Brown being gone really hurt him.
You really think so?
I mean, I think he was a plan for their season. They didn't have anyone to replace him.
Usually,
they had other injuries too, didn't they?
Yeah, they weren't totally healthy, and the Rams have been, I guess, getting better. Meanwhile, that the guy, what's his name, Vaughn, that they picked up was a good. I mean, they've been putting together a Super Bowl run, the Rams, which they're definitely doing. Meanwhile, KC, at the end of the day, I went to KC instead of the Bills, for actual money, because I was like, you know what, they're going to work it out, but I was almost wrong, and then I was completely right. But Nick was the only one who got it because he's a Kansas City fan. So I wonder if he wasn't a Kansas City fan, if he would have bet the Bills, and then he would have sucked like you and me, Mike. All right, enough of that. Like Catalina put, like having a Billy Joel podcast but not knowing a bunch of songs. Oh yeah, shut up. She's right. I don't know whether you guys know. Of course, yes, Elizabeth, Cat is coming for me. Well, I do a Billy Joel podcast every week, and multiple times. And that's where we get a lot of our lovely chat people from. It's been found out that I am not familiar with a lot of Billy Joel songs. It's a complete embarrassment. I'm like, I've never heard this before. And everybody's like, how is that possible? And I'm like, Piano Man. All right, maybe I've heard of that one, but there's other ones I just haven't heard of, and it's very embarrassing. But isn't that the fun of the podcast in a way? Because they're becoming, what are those called, Mike? The reaction videos, right? I think they're becoming like I'm listening to them for the first time. So then it's turned out that the podcast is much more exciting. All right. Well, anyway, I wanted to show you a couple other pictures I have. We're just going to go right through, I think. We're not going to break today because it doesn't matter, and the contender doesn't mind. They told me today, and we're having a good time. In fact, Mike and I were just talking about how we're going to work out the future. So next week is, we'll be here, but there's nothing going on. And then the week after will be the week before the Super Bowl. So we'll try and get a bunch of guests, and we'll have a good time. We'll have a little Super Bowl party in a way. And then the week after that, we'll have a wrap up. And then I was going to think about ending the show. But if you guys are into it, we were checking. And we could just, we love looking at pictures and just having a good time and making fun of the news. We could just keep on going. Because then I was going to come back a month later in March and do March Madness and stuff. It was just a reason to keep going because we're having a good time. And Mike doesn't mind. I wasn't sure if Mike minded. Yeah. You're okay with it, right?
Yeah, it's fun.
We wanted to see if you guys were up for doing it. So, let us know. There was an old thing when we were growing up where there was a local Channel 11, and they would say, like, what's your opinion? We'd like to know. Now, I don't know how you got them their opinion, I guess through the snail mail, but this is much easier in this day and age. So what else did I have to talk about today? I had other pictures. Oh, wait till you see this. Remember, I always read the post before I do the show because the post is the most hilarious. Oh, thank you, Jonathan. And thank you, Anonymous. Oh, great. Marcy. Oh, that's wonderful. Well, of course, we know you guys like it. So, I mean, oh, Barry, thank you, Aunt Judy, of course. How are you feeling today, Aunt Judy? Yes, Weekly Dose of Juska live. So I was reading the New York Post today, and Leah Dunham has a new movie out, and this is awesome. Mike, show that second picture. Look at this. I just copied it. Lena's latest should be the final nail in her career coffin. Ooh, burn! Oh. That's awesome. I don't care for her or her work, and I think that's a great title. Meanwhile, so she has this new movie out, and show that next picture, Mike. And I guess they had it premiered at Sundance, and they had like a Zoom talk, I guess, or something. Mm-hmm. Now, if you see on the bottom is an actress, Jennifer Jason Leigh. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Jennifer Jason Leigh, and she looks a little strange there. That's what caught me off guard, because show us the next picture, Mike. Hey, Stacy, this is some great iced tea. Hey, listen. Hey, my friend Rat really likes you. That's what she used to look like. We feel she's had work done, and I don't know if it's for the better. She still looks good, but there's something different, right, Mike?
Something different.
Yeah.
Her eyes are completely different.
Yeah. There's something wrong. Hey, listen. I just want to. Hey, listen. This is some great iced tea. Hey, Debbie. That guy Damone, I would give anything. Oh, that was the first boobies you ever saw on TV? Were hers in Fast Times, Marcy? Is that true? Oh, that's hilarious. Right. She shows her boobies on Fast Times. Does Phoebe Cates? Oh, maybe you're talking about Phoebe Cates. Does Phoebe Cates show her boobies? They do show it, right? When she went to the Cars song?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she does show them, right? Yeah, those are boobies not to be believed. That's something else. Meanwhile, Catalina, why would you? You're young. Fast Times is great. Catalina, of course, I've had the director and her daughter. I've had her daughter on this show. I've had the director on my podcast last Christmas. If you want to listen, Amy Heckerling, that's the director of her and Clueless. Yes, of course, I've had plastic surgery, but it's unnoticeable, Elizabeth. I mean, come on. I mean, I've told you before. Maybe you don't understand how the Just Gal family works. Even at our most destitute financially, there is always money for a cleaning lady and plastic surgery. I've always made that clear. I've never shied away from that. So I'm just saying that she's had it, and I think she looks better without it. There's a before and after picture. But anyway, yeah, thank you, Marcy. Yes, the Heckerling. I mean, I think she's amazing. I mean, this is a woman that directed a classic boys comedy in 1982. And that's why I was like, wait, how come nobody's talking about her? And then let alone the brilliance of Clueless, which I know I talk about all the time. It is my favorite movie because of the writing, let alone the directing, the casting, the brilliance of casting Fast Times and Clueless. Those actors, I mean, just Damone alone. What has that guy done after? I don't know. But I don't know where he is, and I don't know why he's not. He should be nominated for an Oscar every year just for his performance in Fast Times. Hey, listen, I told you. But yeah, Catalina, you might want to try that one. And thank God, Catalina just saw Clueless, and she liked it. Thank God, because if she didn't, I don't know if we could be friends. Meanwhile, today in the news, Evan Rachel Wood is either she's writing a book or there's a documentary happening about how her boyfriend Marilyn Manson raped her, and not just abused, I think raped her on a video set years ago. Now, that's awful, and I believe her 100%. But, and show that picture, Mike, the first one. You see, the thing is, if you get mixed up with a guy that looks like this, I'm not exactly sure what you're expecting is going to happen. I'm not saying, you're not supposed to think that's gonna. But look at the next one too. I mean, seriously, what are we hoping for in this relationship? Things aren't going to be normal, and she's so cute. And the funny thing is, he liked her in that movie 13, as did I. But that's not what you're supposed to tell somebody when you meet them, because she was 13. So just keep that up here. She was good. It's just a fine film, actually written by the other girl in it, who I think is handled by the same person who handles Jeff Ross and Sarah Silverman. What's her name? Nikki Reed. I think she wrote the movie, and I think she was like 14. Very impressive. Why do I know her? Because then I think she was on either the OC or Gossip Girl, one of those. So I remember I was like following her career, and I'm like, I wonder if she's going to write it. I mean, that's not even fair to be writing a movie when you're that age. That's like a prodigy. Oh, good. Marcy Clueless is in the top 5. That's why we're friends. Catalina's making fun of me. Well, that's good. I guess we can move on. Let's look at some photos, right? I mean, what are we doing here? Yeah. Right, Mike? Yeah. What are we doing? What do I got to do? Share my screen? Yeah. Sure. Yeah, let's get this show started. Yeah, we're not having any guests today. Why are we having guests? What do we need guests for? We're having a good time, right? We're having a good time. Everybody can see this?
Yes, sir.
Colleen, you're saying I'm not talking about Kelly Kuko. Why do you mention that? Because I do talk about her all the time. Big Bang Theory is my favorite show. Is that what you're saying, or are you friends with her? I usually do talk about the Big Bang Theory all the time. That's my favorite TV show. So I watch it like every night. Like after this show, I'll eat something and watch the Big Bang Theory for the rest of the night. It's on TBS all night, so that's all I do. It's kind of pathetic. I'm thinking about going out and getting a haircut tomorrow, though, so that's something. Anyway, so what I found recently is that a lot of people are celebrating the new year in very strange ways. This is, thank you, Marcy. Your impersonations are enough guests for us. Well, hey, you're okay. I'll tell you. This is in Spain on Sunday. It's called the Luminaris Festival. and they celebrate the Saint Anthony, the patron of he's the saint of animals, and they celebrate the patron saint of animals by having horses run through fire.
Oh,
right? What the fuck?
wow.
That's a real photo, and the next one's just even worse. What the fuck kind of celebration is this for animals? I think this is like one of the cruelest things I've ever seen in my life. When I watch movies, ever since I got my cat, which I don't have anymore, but ever since I got my cat, I have become an animal lover. That's how it happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now when I watch movies, when they're treating horses like a bag of shit, or if they jump off a cliff with a horse, I'm like, that fucking poor horse. What the fuck is this? I can't look at this kind of stuff anymore. And here are these people.
Those horses have SAG cards.
They're what? They have SAG cards?
Those horses do. These horses are just jumping through fire for nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Right. At least those horses are getting paid handsomely in sugar cubes. This is another New Year celebration in Scotland, but at least they're just burning a barrel. and this is what they're doing. There's no animal cruelty here, I guess.
Yeah, they're not tossing chickens on top of it or anything.
What did you say, chickens?
Just chucking animals into it for no reason.
Well, that would be delicious. But, I don't like to think about it. I like to eat it. But, meanwhile, see here in Russia, they're diving into cold water for the religious holiday of the baptism of Jesus. At least they're doing this to themselves. People love, they're purifying themselves with water or fire, but it's like they have all these New Year's rituals. Here's a good one. This is the same in Russia, but at least that looks like a ritual. That's a good picture. That's when you're getting serious about cleansing yourself with the nighttime sky and the cross and the cold water. Let's see. Betty White wouldn't do the film As Good as It Gets. And how long? Because they put a dog in the trash. When did they? I saw that movie 100 times. When did they put a dog in the trash? I'm trying to remember that. I know he was taking care of that dog. Wow. Who would she have played? Helen Hunt's mom? And here's this guy. He just throws. This is in Japan. This is all they're doing around the world at the beginning of the New Year. But at least he's just throwing cold water on himself, which doesn't look as difficult as actually diving in and going for it all. Yeah, Catalina. That baptism and that freezing cold water is unnecessary, I think. And speaking of which, this happened in Australia last week, where these artists are doing these things on melting ice rocks to promote global warming, which is hilarious. But the one person gets on it for like 10 hours, but you really want to see one person on it until it melts and then they fall down. I mean, that's all I would sit there and look forward to. We all want to see the ending of how he's just holding on to like one piece of it, like you see in a cartoon, like he's holding off like with the one pinky, the finger. Exactly, Barry, David Blaine again. And this is the biggest snow maze in the world in Poland. And that's got to take a long time to go through, because you know how stupid Polish people are. Hey, thank you. I would never go on one of those mazes because it brings back when I was a kid, when I looked like this. And who would ever want to go in a snow maze after you see this film, or let alone even our favorite Harry Potter, which Catalina's never seen? When bad things happen in mazes like that, bad things. Remember they go to that port key in the back, and it turns out to be Voldemort's hiding place. Come on, man. Mm-hmm. And by the way, if anybody hasn't seen Catalina's another movie, The Shining Part 2, Dr. Sleep, it's excellent. Have you seen it, Mike?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, right? It's really good. It was surprisingly good. I've seen it now multiple times. First of all, the girl in it, the villain in it, is so sexy, right?
Yeah, she's really cool.
Oh, she's so cool. But it's a really good movie. Ewan McGregor's really, well, he's always good in everything. But yeah, Liz, right? The Shining scared me too, but the second one's excellent, really good. And these are new tigers that have come out in China, because On February 1st, it will be the year of the tiger. The year of the tiger. I say tiger like this because that's the way he said, "Oh, you're like a tiger." Scarface, "Oh, you're like a tiger." I don't do the help. Don't get mixed up, Tony. Meanwhile, yeah, I know, right? Isn't this the cutest thing you've ever seen? Remember, he buys her a tiger at the end because she's like a tiger. But this is the way they look now. And that's 35 years later. And I think they both look actually really good. She looks amazing.
Yeah.
Michelle Pfeiffer is just an absolute beauty forever. I mean, he's 20 years older than her, so he still looks pretty good, even though his acting is just god awful. Hey, you say you want to be in the CIA? Oh, oh. Mike, you ever seen the movie Heat?
Yeah.
They're making a Heat 2. I swear to God.
Oh wow.
I swear they're making a Heat 2. It's going to be like a prequel. It's that, De Niro's so good in that movie, but Al Pacino's so over the top. And I still enjoy the movie.
Yeah.
You want to get a cup of coffee? Huh? Oh. You know what he's looking at? The LAPD. All right, motherfucker. Oh, my God, the overacting. Oh, it's awful. God, used to be my hero. It's just it's hard to watch. Oh, she's so pretty. Meanwhile, if you've seen Scarface, you remember Stephen Bauer.
Mm-hmm.
He is the most handsome man anyone's ever seen. I remember that I was dating a girl in college, and she's like, I'm all in on Stephen Bauer. Manolo. Hey, Manolo. Hey, you stay away from my sister. But here's how he looks now, and it ain't too good.
Oh wow.
Yipes. Ooh. That's the problem when you're gorgeous when you're young. Although I think lots of guys stay. I mean, Brad Pitt's still very attractive. George Clooney. This is heavy drinking and drugs. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, right, Marcy. John Hamm is a very handsome man, and he's about this age. I have multiple pictures with John Hamm, which makes me really look very unattractive in comparison. But, and these are whiskey casks stacked up in Scotland because of the COVID travel restrictions. So if you're wondering why whiskey's going up, here's the reason. I'm glad they didn't throw these on that fire because they're all just backed up like what's happening in LA. If you've heard about train robberies in 2022 in LA, people are robbing trains. Look at this. They're robbing trains. And here, they're robbing trains, if you haven't heard about this, and they're opening packages, like your packages that might be delivered to you, FedEx, Amazon. Look what they're bringing the packages out, and they're just opening them there. It's like they're just staying. They're robbing the train, and then they're like, and now we're going to open the package in front of you. We dare you to stop us. Right? They're not even taking it anywhere.
Well, aren't they chucking them off while the train is moving, and then they go back and pick up the stuff? That's why it's such a big mess.
I guess. I don't know. I mean, it's just funny. Like, how do they have time to do all this before the cops show up? That's the question. How do they have time to go through all these packages before the cops show up?
Well, I think the way they do it is they have people there waiting for stuff, and then other people just truck stuff off. But there's not really organized. I mean,
I would take all the packages home. I would have another train ready. Well, this is why, it's hard to watch now Back to the Future 3. Because it ain't funny anymore now. And remember, that train, I think, was going through those exact tracks at the end. And where it was going to the Clint Eastwood ravine. They named that after Michael J. Fox's character in Back to the Future 3. Anonymous, what's Another Round? Is that a movie? Mike, you ever heard of that?
I haven't.
Yeah, me neither. I don't know why I put this up there. It's just hilarious. It's this guy. His name is Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. He's the founding father of Bangladesh, or that's what he's, known for. And I want to get one of these for my house and have it behind me, or one of these ladies with the boobies, and just have it right behind by the video machine. Put it right on top. Or either that size of my own head would be perfect. Something like that. This was at, I guess, a Louis Vuitton fashion show in Paris. This is what what's happening here? I mean, what is this? How is this a fashion statement? And then here's Kanye and his new girlfriend. How is that? What? I mean, is he going to rob one of those trains? What is this? Why would you go to a show like this? And who wouldn't be terrified? I don't understand. And she's not as pretty as Kim Kardashian.
They're like mystery men villains.
Yeah, right? It's very strange. Oh, you're saying that movie Another Round, Elizabeth says, won an Academy Award from Denmark. Oh, it's a foreign film, eh? This is the Northern Lights, which I've never seen, but I've always wanted to. And the weird part is my friend Alina went there two weeks ago and actually took this picture of the Northern Light. Like, it always seems like it's not real, but she was actually there in, I guess, Finland or Norway. And actually, I took this picture right off my phone. How cool is that? I would like that, I think. And this is the first full moon of the year. This was taken in London. They have a bunch of pictures in London with this unbelievable moon and this plane going through, which is not photoshopped. Look at that with the fuel being, like jettisoned and stuff. Isn't that cool?
That's really cool.
Yeah, it looks like he's about to just totally crash into the moon.
Or the moon got a cool tattoo.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks just like that old movie from like when they first started film with that rocket ship in the moon, with the face on it. I should have gotten that. I should have gotten a picture of that. Now, I don't think anybody's heard of this, but in Amsterdam, these museums and concert halls were protesting the rules that are allowing gyms and hairdressers to be open, but not museums and concert halls. I don't exactly understand what the protest is, but it's hilarious that they're playing and these two people are getting, well, I don't know how this guy's getting his haircut. He's bald, but that seems like a bad example. But this would be the worst day of my life with the symphony behind me getting my haircut, because I'd be like, what do you want? I told you I want a little off the sides. God damn it. Shut up. Oh, that would drive me. Oh my God, that would drive me insane. I mean, I obviously like talking to my barber, and we chit chat. This would be a disaster. Meanwhile, the weird part was I just got a call from my other barber today who does hair in her garage, and she was upset that I was cheating on her, but she's in California. So what can I do? Mm-hmm. Can you imagine? Who has those kind of problems? Nobody. And this is the guy that plays Harry Potter in the Broadway show, the Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, which I saw in London, which is in 2 parts. And I don't know whether you know about this. In London, and now it's in Broadway, right? So listen, I just found this out yesterday. I can't even believe it. So they made this 2-part thing. I took my niece to London about 4 or 5 years ago, whenever the show opened, and I took her to London to see the show. And this is what is it? I want to say it's like it's more. I feel like it's more than 12 hours. It's like a 15-hour commitment. You have to get there at 10 in the morning. You got to eat something first. And then you got to get there at 10 in the morning, go through security. You got to get there an hour early before the show starts to get through security, because London's a lot better than it is here. And then it's a 3.5-hour show. 3.5 hours. Broadway show. No music. I fell asleep twice. then you go for dinner, and then you come back for another 3.5-hour show.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's insane. My niece loved every minute of it. I fell asleep 4 times. Not because I was bored. I think just the pressure of making sure everything went smooth, making sure nothing happened, because my niece worshipped Harry Potter. She didn't have a lot of friends at the time. And I was like, this is the only thing in her life. If I mess this up, I'm the worst uncle ever. So I think, just getting there on time, working my way through London, which I didn't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think there's like when we got there and I was like, okay. And then I was just relaxed. And this happens to me in shows all the time. I fall asleep. I love seeing Broadway, but I fall asleep at every show I've ever been to, because you're either rushing there. We live in New York City. You're going to Times Square to see a show. So you're rushing. When you get in there, if it's in the winter, it's cold. When you get in there, it's nice and cozy. The lights go down. It's over. In the summer, you what?
Expectos pastortum.
Well, well done. And then in the summertime, it's the same thing. You're all hot. You're running to the show, and now it's nice and cool there, and the lights go down. There's no way to win. So I'm always asleep I've never seen the first 5 minutes of any show I've ever been to. I always fall asleep sometimes, but then at least I'm up for the rest of the time. And if I don't fall asleep during a show, that means it's extra magical. Apparently, I fell asleep during Matilda, and apparently I fell asleep during the greatest part of the show. Mikey's like, wow, wasn't that amazing when they took the letters and they were like, what? I was fast asleep. I don't know what happened. Anyway, this guy clearly plays the adult Harry Potter, because the cursed Broadway comes. My niece is going to be a dentist soon, so whatever I did worked. But it plays Harry Potter. It takes place right after the last movie, where it's 19 years later. So that's him and Ginny, who he married, Ron's sister. And apparently this actor, James Snyder, who plays Harry Potter, did something so bad that this girl left the show. And now, as of 2 days ago, he's been fired. But nobody knows exactly what happened. And she won't come back. So I don't even know what that means. Here's a picture of how goddamn handsome he is without his makeup on. Hello. She doesn't really do well. She actually looks like Ginny. Harry Potter was much more hotter than Ginny. But I don't know what happened, but I love Broadway gossip. So it's right, Barry. It's so funny you said I would never fall asleep watching Moment Chance. And the weird part is that Moment Chance was this thing from the 70s where they made those masks like we were showing at that Louis Vuitton show, and everybody's wearing those masks, and they would take toilet paper out of it. Yeah. And it was like an avant-garde show, and it was so stupid. I remember it as a kid.
Yeah, Jim Henson loved it for some reason.
Well, that makes sense. Here, I'll show you this part later. Let's go to the picks. I'll just. I think I have to always stop sharing and then share, because it's 6:39, right?
Yeah.
So we'll go to the picks. I'm having a great time with everybody. Yeah, let's go to the picks. Right. Can everybody see that? Yes. All right. 2 games. Championship Sunday. Here we go. 3:00 game on Sunday, and then a 6:30 game after that, prime time. The Bengals, Marcy's Bengal. Marcy, you're picking Cincinnati? Huh. I did not think. No, of course. Well, here's the thing. All right. I think Cincinnati's got a complete shot. But after what I saw on Sunday for that last 2 minutes, there's no way I can bet against Kansas City. I mean, right, Mike? I mean, I'm going to
go with Bengals, but I do think Kansas City is going to win.
Really? I can't. I know it's 7 points, but I can't. I'd feel like a fool betting against them at this point. I mean, I think the Cincinnati will keep it close, but you can't stop Kansas City from scoring. You cannot stop them. It's unbelievable. I know Nick I had breakfast with him today, and I asked him what his picks were, so he picked Kansas City, of course.
Makes sense.
Just the way Marcy's picking the Bengals. I'm going to go with the Bengals for Marcy's sake. I feel horrible picking against them. She's here, even though I know the rest of us is saying, right, Mahomes is the new Brady. And we're saying that, but we're going to let Marcy pick her Bengals. We have to. Right, Mike?
Yeah.
It's the correct thing to do. And we'll see how she does.
They've
As we
gone this
know.
far.
Exactly. So why not? And wouldn't that be interesting if the Bengals knock off the Kansas City Chiefs? They don't even need to win the Super Bowl. God damn it. I mean, that would be something else. I always like that Joe Burrow too. So you got Joe Burrow, Pat Mahomes, and Josh Allen. Boy, what a changing of the guard. These three guys we're going to be talking about forever. Yeah, Cat's all the way, and she doesn't even know who's playing. Catalina. And here we go. San Francisco at the stupid Rams is a late game. Now it's 3.5. I've also seen it at 3. Now, after San Francisco kind of manhandled Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers, it's hard to pick against them. San Francisco already beat LA to get into the playoffs, but LA looks so good. But then, did they? I mean, they let Tampa Bay come completely back. So I'm going to take San Francisco with the points. I'm going to say they either win or they lose by 3. They have that hook, as they call it in our business. Wouldn't it be interesting if the Bengals played the 49ers? That's an old 80s matchup where Joe Montana beat the hell out of Boomer Esiason, so I don't think he wants to see it again, but that's an interesting matchup too. But if it's the 49ers and Kansas City again, that's a repeat of the Super Bowl from, I think, 3 years ago, right? 2019? Or was it 2020?
One of those.
Nick, I know, said he was picking the 49ers. Mike, what are you picking?
I'm picking 49ers. Chat's going LA.
Chat's going LA. Oh, Catalina said Los Angelinos. You're right. That's all Billy Joel. That's an excellent pick. That's the way to pick them. All right, we'll see. I really don't know, but I'm not betting against Kansas City, and I don't know how that other one's going to work out.
Scruffy Bones coming from England.
Oh, Scruff. Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
Niners.
cool. Niners. Interesting. All right, let's see. I'm going to share the screen one more time to show you the last photos because I want to show you this other game I had planned, and we're running out of time, if you can believe it, because we're having a good time together, right?
Yeah.
Let me show you these last photos. So I just saw the movie Don't Look Up last night, which is about a meteorite that's coming to, or a comet that's going to destroy the whole Earth. It was excellent, by the way. I thought it was excellent. Meryl Streep, Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence. Really good movie. I thought it was really good. Very entertaining. 2 hours went by like that. That's not a lot you can say sometimes for movies. And I thought the message was pretty interesting. So this is a 555 carat black diamond believed to have come from outer space. I mean, it's a diamond bearing asteroid that collided with the Earth, which is the exact premise of Don't Look Up. And this was it's being auctioned at Sotheby's. I have trouble pronouncing it all the time. But it's the exact premise of Don't Look Up, which was so weird. That's why I thought it was interesting. But of course, this premise is also it could be Kryptonite, which was here to kill Superman, and that makes me, of course, nervous. But that all being said, I thought what we would do today, that's Kryptonite. If you know anything about Superman, then you might know, and I hope you like these kind of games because Mike and I are enjoying doing it. So if you don't know, there's all different kinds of Kryptonite. So I thought today we would try and play a little guessing game of what different color Kryptonite does. So I'm going to share my screen once more today and play our Can You Guess the Color Kryptonite game. And again, Tell me if you like this kind of stuff, because I put a lot of time into it, but I don't know whether it's stupid or not. But Mike told me, thank God he likes it, so that made me feel better. Because Mike would definitely let me know. And if he didn't let me know, he would let somebody else know, and it would get back to me. Mike says your games are stupid. Like Bobby Kelly would definitely tell me. He's like, Jessica, I heard those games are dumb.
Dude, your game's a gun, dude.
All right, so get this. The one of these, this is green kryptonite or red kryptonite, and one of them removes your superpowers. Is it, Mike, the green kryptonite or the red kryptonite?
I know the answer, so I'll go last. So,
all right. Well, what does the chat room say? I think, well, they're going to need time to process this, so you probably shouldn't go last. Oh, you know the answer, though. Okay. Do you know about Superman? Are you going to know these? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Colleen says the red. All right. So we have an answer. And Mike, you're going to say? I see green in there.
Well, because green just makes him weak. So.
That's right. Well, and could kill him.
Yeah.
I see everybody's going red, green, red, green. So, Mike, you know it's red.
Yeah.
That is the correct answer. Red kryptonite takes away your powers. All right. Let's see if you know this one. Good luck. We have white kryptonite and everybody's favorite, periwinkle kryptonite. These are all true kryptonites that have been in the comic books. Yeah. One of these kryptonites kills all plant life. I wish I was kidding. Mike, I think this is why women don't read comic books, because this is ridiculous. But which one of these, Mike, kills all plant life? Is it white or periwinkle?
I don't remember. I'm going to go with periwinkle because I think white does something else, but I can't remember.
And what does the chat room say? What do you like, folks? What kills all plant life? Periwinkle kryptonite or white kryptonite? I'm getting a periwinkle here. Well, the answer, folks, is white kryptonite. And it kills all plant life. Now, Marcy knew. Well, you're really going to like this one.
What does periwinkle do?
I don't remember. It does something. I can't remember. It was something stupid. So I don't even remember what it was. It was like I was only concentrating on the ones that actually did. I mean, they all do something, but now I can't remember what it was. And I'm sorry. I should have probably known. I'll look it up after. Now, this is orange kryptonite and blue kryptonite. And one of these kryptonites, gives animals superpowers. Like Crypto, Superman's dog.
Yeah.
So which one is it, Mike? Is it the blue kryptonite or is it the orange kryptonite that gives dogs superpower?
I think blue. I can't remember.
And you thought you knew kryptonite.
I just knew the red one. I didn't know all of them.
Well, nobody does, apparently. I mean, I'm seeing Scruffy Bones says blue. He's saying the blue kryptonite gives dogs or animals superpowers. Nope, it's the orange kryptonite. I can't believe you guys didn't know that. All right. If you guys don't get this one right, you're not allowed to be in the chat room anymore. And Mike, you're going to have to quit the show. Okay? This is a true story. I'm not making it up. It's in 2 or 3 of the comic books. This is silver kryptonite, which is a cartoon photo that I have, and pink kryptonite. And I swear to God, one of these kryptonites makes you gay.
Oh, pink.
Yes, exactly. I don't think I need to. I'll just say everybody knows that it's pink, and I swear to God it is fucking pink. I swear to God that's an actual kryptonite. I must have been burned by pink kryptonite just an hour ago. Hello. If that's not the stupidest thing I've ever heard, well, then I don't know funny. Pink kryptonite makes you gay. What? It's a true story. Next week I'll try and get the comic where Superman becomes gay. I know. What the hell is happening? Who's writing this stuff? And quite frankly, I think it's like an older one. I don't think it's like, new.
Yeah, it doesn't make him. They don't outright say that he's gay. It's he just acts very effeminate or
Right. Hi,
Yeah.
everybody. Oh, wait. I know one of those ones. Oh, maybe it's the silver one splits the personalities, like in Superman 3. Well, the Superman 3 was a synthetic one that was made, but then I think in Smallville, the silver one splits you in two, and then you can fight with yourself. See, Scruffy Bones is right. So you aren't born gay then? No, that's absolutely right. Being
Not on
gay is
Krypton.
caused by pink kryptonite, and now everyone knows. So you're welcome. Yeah, see, not only is this show fun, it's also informative. And I'm just gonna say it. Yeah, pink kryptonite just makes you gay. So if you thought that you were born with it, no, it's not a gene. It's just somebody is somebody is. I don't even know where I'm going.
Periwinkle Kryptonite basically makes you charming.
Makes you charming?
Yeah.
Ah, but are you sure that's not?
It turned his costume Periwinkle, and he was able to be more charming and dance better.
So it's pretty much the same as pink in many ways, but can he create tornadoes by blowing? Excellent. That's funny. And speaking of funny, Mike, let's show that last picture I had up. I swear to God, this is the new football league that The Rock and his wife, his ex-wife, just purchased. The new USFL. They're trying it another time. It's tried 3 times. These are the teams: the Jersey Generals, my favorite, the Tampa Bay Bandits, Pittsburgh Maulers, the Houston Gamblers. Shouldn't that be the Las Vegas Gamblers? It doesn't make any sense. In Birmingham, what are they at? Birmingham, Alabama? Yeah, again, Barry, exactly. Again, they're trying the USFL. It's going to start in April, and it's ridiculous. Yeah, please take that off the screen. It's just I can't even look at it. I can't believe they're trying this again. Don't they know? No one cares for football. The thing that makes football great, which seems like people aren't getting, is that it's like Christmas Day when it comes. It comes once a week. That's why it's the best of all sports. It just, you're waiting for it every Sunday. You know, that's why Thursday's not that great, even though it is great. But it's like, it was so exciting when it's once a week. You know, you get prepped up for it. You talk about it a lot, and it's like exciting. Whereas, you know, the other games they play every day. Baseball plays every day. How is that going to get exciting? You know, until the playoffs, or even then, plays every day. Basketball is every other day. Hockey, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what makes football exciting. So when there's a huge gap between February and September, you really get, you get excited. The USFL. See, Catalina says Tuesdays are the best. Well, I appreciate that. Tuesdays are the best. Why? Because we have this show. My Just Get Out of the City podcast comes out, of course, and our Billy Joel podcast comes out on the same day. So if you're interested in all that, please join me on Patreon, my Patreon page. It's outstanding. And you get a free tote bag if you join the $10 level. It's very exciting. And of course, you can't get any better than that. So it's pretty good. Meanwhile, a final thing. Well, oh yeah, Mike, I think we were talking about what we were planning on doing. Right. All right. So let's just, I guess we got to wrap up. I was going to talk about this woman that was just sunbathing at a statue in Italy, in Venice, and she got fined and banned for 48 hours from Venice because she was topless, sunbathing at a monument that pays homage to Italy's war heroes. And some guy was walking around with his son, and he called the cops. And I'm like, if that was my dad, I'd be so devastated. You know? What an asshole. Meanwhile, I'm dying to see what this girl looks like, because if it's that she's sunbathing on this thing, like, I'm trying to look at it a different way. Like, if it was like at the Holocaust Museum and she was sunbathing, she'd have to be really hot to get away with that, because then maybe we could look against, like, then people would be like, well, that's right. My Aunt Judy says my dad would sell her a bra because that's what my dad used to do. Right. So he'd be like, that's the kind of girls I like working with. But anyway, yes. So, but she got banned for 48 hours, which has to mean she's hot, because otherwise they'd ban her for life. Don't you think? And she's from the Czech Republic, rather. And that's where all of porn comes from. So we're going to just assume that she's hot. Anyway, with that all horrible sexist comments being said, I will leave you today, but I am very much looking forward to seeing everybody next week again, because I love this. I am loving the chat room, right, Mike? We love the chat room. We love the games. We love picking with you guys. I love showing you the pictures. So definitely be back next week, and there won't be anything to pick, so I'll make up some more games. Oh, thank you, Elizabeth. And thank you, Marcy, and my Aunt Judy, and Barry, and Anonymous, and Colleen, and Brian, and everybody. Thank you so much for being a part of this show, the Comedy Cellar Playoff Show, and the Contender app, where we will be seeing you again next week. Have a great weekend, everybody.